So this race question was being talked about in regards to the legality and mores of Southern segregation in the U.S. Although it was interracial, Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, which was King's mentor, and the former president of Atlanta's Morehouse College, said, quote, "Negroes carried the ball in the movement," and this is commonly how it was, because it's as if they were constantly having to appeal to and accommodate to the white liberal or white moderate standard that was never progressive enough. So basically this means that it was the black individuals within and a part of the group that had to, quote, "continually prod this increasingly effective organization to be more aggressive," unquote, by Washington 43. Quote, "King and his staff knew that the source of many criticism against the student sit-ins and freedom rides came from members of this group who preferred a more gradual approach," unquote, Washington 43. So this is King's audience that he's trying to win over, trying to maneuver, trying to appeal to their conscience for basic human rights for black people, or as Negroes, as he often says during that time period, which he evolved out of that after the Black Power movement, and Malcolm X started saying things like "black is beautiful, baby," and things of that nature. Nevertheless, King's focus here was to appeal to the conscience of the American white moderates and the white liberals, and to show them that the student movement, Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, which is often called the SNCC, was, quote, "a natural outgrowth of their own work and of his own campaign." That's Washington, again, the editor. So, like, if you see these sort of radical college students and you are sort of someone living in white America, and radical college students, right, in the South, it may seem like these people are instigators, rabble-rousers, agitators, but King's essentially saying he's proud of these people because they're essentially embodying what King advocates for and embodies himself, the philosophy of nonviolence. So, a little bit about what has happened. The Supreme Court had outlawed segregation at this time, but the states of the South had disobeyed the federal courts. So, King pretty much starts out asserting that whatever legal maneuvers the southern states were trying to do, such as, and he often says this in many of his writings, such as interposition and nullification, which are basically two attempts at saying that the federal government has overreached in an unconstitutional way, and that was the effort of people in the South who were trying to uphold the same law, right? The same mores and the same norms, pre-desegregation, or ideally integration, but full integration is sort of yet to happen, in an idealistic sense anyway, right? Okay, we find out basically on down he discusses the nation is in a crisis, partially because of the mass resistance by the Southerners, but Also, the crisis has developed in part, as King says, because of the determination, quote, quote, determination of hundreds and thousands and millions, even, of Negro people to achieve freedom and human dignity. If the Negro stayed in his place and accepted discrimination and segregation, there would be no crisis. But the Negro has a new sense of dignity, a new self-respect, and a new determination. He has reevaluated his own intrinsic worth. Now, this sense of dignity on the part of the Negro grows out of the same longing for freedom and human dignity on the part of the oppressed people all over the world. For we see it in Africa, we see it in Asia, and we see it all over. So that's King on page 44. So something I want to point out here that I think is unique to King, especially in this time frame, is that King already has this very international look on things. He's seeing the whole world. He's extending beyond, national patriotism or national idealism, and is already seeing everything interconnected. And in so many ways that puts him ahead of his time and ahead of so many people even today. Let's, I guess, unpack what we just read a little bit more. So here there's this common notion of King, and I'm sure you've all heard of this, right? King is a man of peace. He just wanted peace. And they sort of often postulate this, people, in a way that depicts King as not a disturber of the collective. But we see something quite different here in this passage, and we also see how this sense of dignity and this sense of self-determination is tethered to the oppressed peoples, even internationally. So King's philosophy was way ahead of his time.